So lately, I've been reading a little bit, and I was reading a book on a motorcycle trip through the Middle East, and it's by Jeremy Kroeker, and it's called Through Dust and Darkness, a motorcycle journey of fear and faith in the Middle East. Well, at first the title kind of threw me, and I thought, oh geez, I don't want to read a book about, a religious perspective, and trying to sell me something, as in belief. And because I'm not a religious person, though I connect to a spiritual view of life, but I'm not religious. And anyway, this book, though, it surprised me. It was very good. He was very low-key on the religious aspect because he questions a lot of this in his own life. I guess he was brought up as a Mennonite and so Christian, and he's riding through the Middle East, and I guess it just brings up a lot of questions for him, and this is what he gets at now and again in the book. So it's only just sporadically, but it's a thread that recurs, and he does it in a good way. His own philosophy is that he's not sure. He doesn't know whether he believes in a God or not, even though he was raised that way. So the thing about the book that I like the most is he's a very good writer. He describes well. So there's nothing momentous that happens on his journey, but he describes the daily nuances of being in these countries, particularly in Syria and Iran. And that's, I found that pretty interesting. So it's a good read. He writes very, very well. So I'll put a link up. Where shall I put it? I'll put a link right here to that, so you can check it out for yourself. And there's a couple other books that I've ordered just, well, when did I order them? 2 days ago? Something like that. I'll get them on January 30th, they tell me. And these books are by Lois Price. She lives in London on a barge, I think. It's on, I don't know what river it's on, but anyway, she has an interesting life, her and her husband. Lois, and I'll put a link up right, where will I put it? Right here, right there. Can you see it? Okay, so Lois, if you don't know about her, is a gutsy lady who, when she first started motorcycling, she decided that it would be a good idea to ride I forget what it was a small bore motorcycle, 125 or something, I can't remember. And she rode it from Alaska to way down in South America by herself. And that book that describes that journey is called Lois on the Loose, I believe. Anyway, I haven't got the books yet. So. And then she wrote another book called Red Tape and White Knuckles. And that book describes her trip through Africa, also on a small CC motorcycle. So she likes doing more on less, and she's very, very adventurous, so I think they would be fun books to read. And on another note, I received my Speedo DRD from 12 O'Clock Labs the other day. I'm going to wait to install it until I get a new rear tire, because I may go with the Dunlop D606, and that being a slightly, noticeably larger in diameter than stock. The IRC, I believe, is 25 3/4 inches, and that is 26.8, so they say. And that will, of course, affect the gearing, and the speedo. So I'll wait till I get that on, then install that to correct my speedo finally. I think I'm going with the D606, but then again I might go with the Kenda K270 friend of mine has that on his CRF250L. I think he's happy with it. Maybe you can chime in here, Keith. And that, I think, is a little larger in diameter than stock also. I think it's 26.3 according to Kenda's website. So that will make a slight bit of difference on the gearing too. So, and I can afford to go with larger diameter rear tire, being that I have the 1342 sprockets on this bike. A little bit taller gearing for the highways wouldn't be bad, and I'll still have lots of kick for in town and off-road. I find it interesting when you look at reviews on tires and everyone's perception being so different, and what I find especially interesting and comical even is how much mileage people get out of a particular tire. You know, you get some people that reliably say that they get 10,000 kilometers out of a D606, and other people that say, oh, you know, great traction, but it doesn't hold up. I only got 1,500 miles out of it or something like that. I expect I'll do okay because I got, so far, over 13,000 kilometers out of my stock IRC GP22. I'm getting used to talking to myself here while I ride. Without thinking people will think I'm strange. Well, maybe they will think I'm strange, but I guess the difference is I don't care. They probably think that I've got some sort of a Bluetooth headset on or something and I'm talking to someone on the phone. I guess that works. I was also thinking of the Pirelli MT43, but you know, the downside of that one is that I would probably need a new chain because it is just a little bit larger than the D606, and it would be, I think, so I've heard, a little too close to the forward mud flap. But otherwise it has, from what I gather, extreme traction, except in mud, and that's another downside. I think the K270, looking at the tread, would have very good traction on dry rock and that type of thing. Maybe even better than the D606, but 606, from what I gather, performs really well on the highway, and also, of course, great off-road and better in mud than the K270, I would think. Anyway, I'll get one of those too. Well, I'm going to go pick up some eggs, so I'll say goodbye. You people have a wonderful day. Catch you another time.